Hi guys, here's Cornelia Pauline. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just wanted to essentially record a super ad hoc video telling you guys the 5 best Instagram strategies right now to grow your Instagram that are free. So that are really organic, you don't have to pay for them, and that are working in 2019. Now you have to excuse my lamp up there. It's not that cool. I've been trying to get a new one forever. So if you have any tips on what kind of cool lamp luster, or what's the name, that I can get, please let me know. Okay, so this past week alone, I've grown by 1,000 followers. And so right now I'm at 11,000 followers. I don't know if you can tell. And I've posted around 1,370 posts so far. And I'll tell you why this becomes important in just a second. So my number one tip, first of all, when you do post and you post a new post, make sure it is really good quality and make sure it's really authentic to you. Now, I would say that right now and how the Instagram algorithm works, it's more important that your posts are of high quality than the frequency that you're posting at. And it's really interesting because I've seen, also accounts, and I know that accounts are growing by followers simply because they're actually focusing more on IG stories, and this is where they get their followers from. So you're not maybe necessarily getting them so much anymore from the posts, but you're getting them from your IG stories, and we get to that in just a second. So posting is still important, but I would say that, and if you're looking at big accounts as well, like for instance, Amanda Cerny comes to mind. There's a couple other big ones, if they have audiences already, or, if their audiences are big or not as big, you'll notice that their posting frequency dropped a bit. And the interesting thing is, because especially when they're really active on IG stories, and they're posting all the time and every single day on IG stories and making them interesting, then the post amount, the frequency you have to post can go down. So I would even say, like for me personally too, I probably approximately post now 2 or 3 times a week, and that's it. And I focus actually my efforts much more on IG stories, because what people are looking for in 2019 in terms of their marketing is authenticity, vulnerability, and just really getting to know you. And when you're posting also, an image post, and you do add some content to it, there's only a limited amount of proximity that people can have to you. If they're seeing your IG stories, there's just much more of a connection that can happen right away. And so that's why IG stories are also something that you definitely want to focus on, even if you feel a little uncomfortable right now. But so anyways, so that's the first tip. It included a lot, but post itself, you can turn on the frequency if you turn up your IG stories. And then if you do post an IG post, because of how the algorithm is right now, it's really important that you do announce it every time on IG story. If you're not announcing it yet on IG story, you have to announce it on IG story, because it is so important. Otherwise, even your followers might not see your post. And ideally, you put a lot of, quality content in there, and you put really much thought behind your post. So just let them know that you posted a new post. That's super important. And even huge accounts, like for instance, Chiara Ferragni and so on, they're doing that right now, just because their followers see the IG stories much more and engage with them much more than they see new posts that you're posting on IG. Okay, so that's for the first one. The second one. Are you ready? So engagement pods still work. Engagement pods are still your way to maximize and tap into other people's audiences. However, there's a really important tip when it comes to engagement pods. You have to join engagement pods with Instagram accounts that you actually know, and where you know what kind of people, what kind of audience they are targeting. Because for you, for instance, you can only tap into a certain, target audience, right? So let me give you an example. If you're, for instance, a yoga instructor, yoga teacher, right? And what are you posting all day long is yoga related stuff, right? And you're posting probably about a healthy lifestyle as well, and that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden, maybe you have in your engagement pod on Instagram, you have like an account that just is about luxury cars or something. As you can imagine, a different crowd will follow the luxury car Instagram account than they will follow your yoga related account. So when it comes to engagement pods, what kind of engagement pods you join and who is in that engagement pods is so important, because that can really make or break an engagement pod. And from that, you can really either see traction on, you know, your Instagram and whenever you post, or you don't see any traction at all. And so that's why this is really essential. So if you're joining an engagement pod or you're creating them yourself, be sure that the accounts, the IG accounts that get into that pod are related to the target audience that you need, and possibly have your target audience that they are targeting as well, or that they're talking to as well, right? So you have to essentially be talking to the same people who have the same interests, right? So think about it that way. If you're too different in your mindsets and in your beliefs, right, and what you're talking about, then it's not relatable, right? And so that's why you don't see any traction. So that was my number 2 tip. When you do work with engagement pods and they work really well still, be careful who you're joining and what they're about. Okay, and IG tip number 3 is that you're using your IG stories in a very vulnerable way, and that you're creating stories out of your day. So essentially your IG story should be for you behind the scenes. It should show like real life, and should be a great way for people to get to know you. It's almost like a reality TV show. If you're like me and you're watching a lot of IG stories, you probably noticed that. And so the IG stories is a great way also to further promote your business if you're doing it the right way. You don't want to blatantly sell on IG stories, but you simply really want to let people engage with where you come from and how you went from, where you were to how you're right now. Or to where you are right now, and how they can do the same. So this is, for instance, how you would sell. You wouldn't just say, hey, promo. That doesn't work at all, right? And so play with it a lot, right? Watch the numbers, see what kind of stories people really relate to, your audience relates to if you post them. With IG stories, if you are an engagement pod, a great way is like IG story takeovers, right? So you are taking over someone else's account, or you, for instance, recording IG story snippets of introducing yourself and what you're about and the kind of value that you can add. And then everyone in your engagement pod essentially posts that introduction. And so you maximize the audience of everyone, and all of you together are growing on Instagram. So that's another great way for free to grow your audience super quickly. So with IG stories, in essence, I would say like be really consistent when it comes to IG stories. Like people love consistency. And even if you're not getting any engagement at the beginning, if you're doing polls or if you're saying like DM me or whatever, not keep doing it. Try different things, because most people are watching you, and most people, especially at the beginning, and also your fans are going to watch you silently, but they are taking notice of what you're doing. And this is where you build up the trust and the like factor. So IG stories is a great way to grow your Instagram, because you can truly showcase your personality. If you are feeling uncomfortable at the beginning to do it, and I felt uncomfortable as well, keep doing it, because it will get much easier, and have fun with it. Play with it. Try to make it your own. Try to really showcase your personality and make it your own. And all the weird things maybe that you like, or like stuff that you dislike maybe, keep it fun. And that way you'll see some great traction. So number 4, my tip number 4 to really growing your IG following also in 2019, and that has been like actually important also the previous years, is that when someone gets onto your IG account, it's really important that they know what your account is about and the kind of value you can add, or essentially what your account is about, right? So when you get onto someone's account, you just want to know right away, okay, this is what I can get from it, right? And so for instance, it becomes really clear if you follow like a fashion account, you know exactly, okay, this is what I'm getting from it. If you, for instance, follow Sarah Blake, this IG account, the founder, CEO of Spanx, you can see right away like, hey, okay, I'm getting behind the scenes into a billionaire's life and also how she runs her business and new stuff that's happening at Spanx. So, if you're following, like, for instance, Gary Vaynerchuk's, IG account, you also see behind the scenes into the business, and you get social media marketing advice along the way. And it becomes really clear when you check someone's bio out, essentially what the IG account is about. And another tip that I can give you is to just really be really clear and concise when it comes to that. And then also add some sort of mission statement. So add in a sentence or two kind of what you're about, what your belief is, maybe the majority or main belief that your life is about and that you really believe in. So for instance, if you take Chiara Ferragni, the fashion influencer, and I mentioned it before because I'm a big fan, she always has that post at the beginning of her IG bio where it says love fiercely, and then in brackets, and don't forget to take photos along the way. So her whole IG and a lot of the posts, the stories are about, her love for family and her friends, and the post itself also about, love for fashion and that kind of stuff. So what the belief, when you put your belief in the IG bio, it has to translate into the context and the kind of content that you produce, right? So it has to be all into context, and that's how people will be able to really relate with you and to really kind of set yourself apart from your competition. Because the one thing is that will set you apart is not only that you're unique and there's no one like you in this universe, but the second thing is also that you can really showcasing them what you're all about, because people really can relate to that or not relate to that. And if they can relate to that, then you're attracting the right audience and the right tribe to you, right? Then when you're trying to hide what you stand for and what it is that you believe in. So I want to encourage you to be more open about that and to tell your story, because stories is the thing that can really stick with us and where we really feel like we can connect with someone. And so you can do that also great on IG stories. And I would encourage you maybe to do it once every 2 weeks or once a month to always consistently still introduce yourself on IG stories. Think about when you first meet someone and you're just chit-chatting, right? And you're trying to figure out what this person is all about, and you're telling them what you're all about, right? And so that way you can simply engage with each other. And so just think about IG stories like you're trying to, chit chat with your new friends that just followed you, that don't quite know yet what you're about, but you're just telling them, right? Or showing them, whatever it is. If you're an artist, you show them. So I hope that was an editor for you. So definitely be clear on, who you are and what you have to bring to the table and what you believe in. It's really important. And don't be shy about showcasing those and telling the world what you're all about. And then number 5, another trick that I wanted to share with you, and it's not really a trick because you should be doing it already, but the way you can really grow your following and you can grow a strong, loyal following is that you actually care about your followers, right? And it's really interesting because most people, they ask me how can I grow my following super fast, but they're not really asking me, how can I find out more about my followers? Because the interesting thing is the more you find out about your followers, the faster you will also grow your following. It kind of goes hand in hand with each other, and it's really related to each other. So, it's interesting. So for instance, when you are, on your account and a person comments, right? And takes their time to comment on your post that you just posted, or they DM'd you based on the story they saw, or whatever not. Click on their account and just simply go ahead and stalk them. Check out their account and see what they're all about and see what kind of person, you were able to kind of inspired to comment on what you created. So try to really get your followers more. Don't just kind of like the comment if they commented on your post and say, oh yeah, thanks, or something like that. You can do that too, but then take the time, the extra step. It's always this extra step that sets sometimes people that grow really fast on Instagram apart to people where they don't see any growth, is that you're essentially just then clicking on their account and checking out what their account is all about, and then leave comments on their stuff, right? Because in essence, and how psychology works, is that people always care about what they can get out of something, and that's totally natural. That's a natural instinct that we have, and almost like a survival instinct. And so the thing is, if you understand that first you kind of have to show them that you actually care about what they are all about, then they start caring about what you are all about, right? And so it's kind of that relationship that you can build up this way. So start learning really more about your followers. Start defining what kind of accounts you want that follow you, right? It's also that way where you can decide who your tribe is going to be, right? And what people you want to really kind of spend time with and connect with on social media and offline. And so I think that's really, really important. And then of course, have fun with it, right? Try to be really real in your comments. I think nowadays you can definitely tell, especially on Instagram too, if you have some, you know, if you, for instance, hire like a freelancer on Upwork and you have them like comment on other accounts for you because you think you're growing that way, and you're doing the like, comment or whatever strategy that so many out there and promote it, you know, then you can totally tell if that comment is sincere or not, right? It's like you could tell in real life as well. And just keep that in mind, because especially the more we are kind of just integrating social media in our daily lives, right, the more we are learning about it and can see through inauthentic like comments and like, you know, posts, and can see through authentic posts. And so the same goes for your post as well. Don't just kind of post something and think about it already in advance. Hey, how many engagement hacks, how many engagements can I get from that? Or, you know, how often will this be shared? But try to to post something that's really of value to you, and where you know, you feel like it's worth for someone to read that, right? You know, you actually adding something of value, so they invest time into reading it, and you put your time into creating it. So anyways, I hope that was helpful to you. You got a couple of tips from it. Again, this was just my 2019 top 5 tips for you to grow your organic Instagram following in 2019. I'm going to create another video on it and show you how can you do it with paid ads. There's some other strategies as well if you're curious. Leave me down a comment as well. If you have any questions, leave me a comment as well. And of course, I'm going to reply to it. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Sure, if you want to make my day. And otherwise, I see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.